Gerrie is a corporate behavioural psychologist. Her focus is on the future of work and how to be remotely human. As work becomes increasingly tech-enabled and less personable, she works with leaders on the skills needed to support collaboration, innovation, sharing success and learning. Gerrie introduces the HOPE model, happiness, optimism, playfulness and empathy as a core to a better future. Her clients include EY, Samsung, GSK, Transport for London, and the International Committee of the Red Cross Crescent. Welcome to the stage, Gerrie Hawes.
Thanks, Lee. I was 9, and I stood in my grandma's back room. She was busy in the kitchen and it was time for lunch. And one thing was on my mind: sneaky sweets. In her sideboard, she had a biscuit tin, and that could be rammed full of lemon sherbets, Quality Street, and fudge. You had one too, huh? And so she was busy in the kitchen and I was good to go. So I reached for the door, leant in, and I had the tin. And I quietly, so I thought, opened the tin. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Grandma. Now, sweets were absolutely not allowed before lunch. I was in trouble. I was in big trouble. And I turned, slowly, waiting for what was to come. And to my surprise, she had the biggest grin on her face from ear to ear. And she said to me, "You need to grasp every opportunity that comes your way. You're going to get so many opportunities in your life that I never had." Now, I don't know what prompted that. But let me give you a bit of context of the woman that was born in 1910. She had lived through 2 world wars. And several of her family had been killed in these wars. When she was about 17, the silver screen was full of a story of a dystopian future where the machines had taken over and the humans were slaves. But also, when she was in her late teens, every woman around her got the vote for the very first time. And this is maybe why she gave me this gift. Was this gift about a woman stepping forward? Well, maybe. But that wasn't even on my radar. What it gave me was a gift to be really excited about the future. I'm now a corporate behavioural psychologist, and I have grasped pretty much every opportunity that's come my way. I've worked with all kinds, and I do work with all kinds of really large, complex companies. Many of them employ huge numbers of people. They employ huge numbers of people, and they also affect your lives, whether it's your medication or your banking or your tech. And so they affect all of us. And they all struggle with the human side of work. And that's where I come in. But why am I talking about this now? Why now is this important? Well, there are 2 things going on in the future of work. One of them's happening because we were all working in the office, then we were all working from home, and now we have this really weird mishmash of home, of office, and often mandated office hours. And this is not going to be with us for long, but it's part of a bigger transition. This is how many of my clients' diaries look right now. Not only is it back to back, it's overlapping. And meetings are starting with apologies constantly. "Oh, I'm really sorry I'm late." And the biggest one, the common one is, "I'm sorry, I had to have a bio break. We can't even talk about going to the loo," all right? And this is not human. This isn't remotely human, and we need to do something about this. There's also something else going on. We have a massive change that technology is moving from being enablers to partners, and it's already happening. Think of the relationship you have with your phone. Think of the relationship you might have with Alexa. We're already forming a partnership, and we're wondering, what does this mean for us? Was that Metropolis movie that my grandma saw correct, that the machines are going to take over and the humans are the slaves? Do we need to have a fear of the future? And should we leave it to the superheroes to battle the robots? Should we run to the hills as they take over? Or maybe we should compete on an even keel. Maybe we should be pushing uphill to try and be the same as the machines. But we won't win. Machines do what they do incredibly well. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've kind of had to be the machines, but that's changing right now. That is changing. The machines are getting more able and capable to be that partner rather than the enabler. So where does that leave us? Well, the good news is that while we were having lunch, I sneaked something into your pockets. All right? So if you have a little look, have a dig, see what you find. See what you find in your pockets. You might find something that looks a lot like this. Okay? It's a really handy thing to have, and it's a tool that I'm going to leave with you to use after this talk. And what we're going to use it right now, because one of the things that I know about humans is we really like to interact. And it's about time you did something. So roll your shoulders, you're going to do some work. Thank you very much. Right, so the first thing you're going to do is get your thumbs out, right? So what I'd like you to do is tell me how hopeful you currently are about the future, right? So give me a big, really excited, really dystopia is my bag, and somewhere in between. We've got a real mix, right? We've got unsure, not sure where it's going, a bit of a mix. Right, okay. So that's where you are right now. But we have, and I absolutely believe that we have that within our control, or certainly our influence, that we can make a difference to the future that we have and not just leave it for it to happen to us. We could choose to race that machine. We could choose to be on par, just as that person pushing that boulder uphill. But this race we will lose. The machines are so much better at the simple, the very complex, and they're very good at that repetition of those kind of things. Machines are good at machines. But we have a human competitive advantage. And we're going to use, and I want to talk about the things that make up that human competitive advantage. I've worked with all kinds of companies trying to work out what those are, and I've identified 4 macro trends that I'd like us to use. So you have 4 fingers, how handy is that? And at the knuckle is 0. And at 10, that's 10 out of 10, score yourself 10 out of 10 right at the tip. There might be something just beyond, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. So you're going to score those on each of those fingers as I talk through these. So machines are not renowned for being happy. In fact, if you ask Alexa, are you happy? She will say, I'm happy when I'm helping you. And we laugh because we know she doesn't have feelings, but we do. And happiness is something that is within our gift, but we need to own it. We need to decide whether we're unhappy, maybe we're content, or are we really looking after our own happiness? Are we thinking of self-care? Are we sharing our gratitudes? Are we exercising and eating well and using the most of what we've got? Are we connected, and are we looking after our spiritual wealth? If you're scoring yourself 10 there, just because it's you, I've given you a little stretch for each of these. Will you go to this back? If you're already at 10 on that, it's your time to spread joy and to share it, because this is a subversive thing to do. Even enjoy your work. How amazing would that be? The next thing is optimistics. So if you ask a good prompt of any AI, it will tell you, you ask, what the positives of the future? It will tell you, but it doesn't feel optimism, but we can. So your next score, knuckle 0, tip of the finger is, are you pessimistic, or are you open-minded, or would you describe yourself as optimistic? So are you willing to imagine a better future? Are you able to talk about it? And are you inspiring others and leading others? And if that's one of your strengths, then let's move it to a little bit further. Share your vision, just like all the women are doing today, sharing a vision of a better future. Lots of tingly fingers going on there. Right, next one. So, machines are not playful. They're very productive, more productive than we are. They're more capable to do that. But we have been trained and educated to be productive. It's now our time to be human. And that human strength involves creativity and playfulness. And so where are you on that score, that third strength? Are you curious? Are you innovative? Are you making unexpected connections? Are you finding a better way? Are you playing with ideas? It really freaks the machines out when you do. And are you willing to be the crazy one in the room? The person who's not afraid to be silly, because those ideas lead to leap forwards in a future that we want. And the fourth little finger is such a powerful one, is empathy. And actually, if you ask ChatGPT what are humans good at that I'm not, it will say empathy. So are you disconnected? Or are you aware and listening and considerate of others? Are you compassionate? Are you kind? And are you leading on ethics and inclusion and equity? And right at that very tip is the most radical thing that you can do in the world of work and the future of work, and that is love. And if we bring that to the workplace, a whole other thing happens. So, next one. There are 4 skills. You don't have to be good at all of them, but you will be good at some of them. And it's up to each of us to start using them and bringing them forwards. So see where you score well and focus on those strengths. Don't worry on the things you're not good at, because other people will be good at those. My grandma gave me a gift, and it was to be excited about the future. And gifts are for sharing on. So I've hopefully passed that to you to take this tool with you. And just when you're wondering how things are going, look at your fingers and use those scores to make a future that we all want. Make it remotely human. Thank you. Thank you.